why don't we go ahead and finish this game off in style? Let's blink all of our creatures, twice, and get 8 ETB abilities off of it. Okay, so why don't we keep you tapped down? Let's go ahead and submit that. Why don't we bounce you? Why don't we go ahead and get thing? Hello Daily Drafters and welcome back to the channel for today's Daily Draft. Today we'll be drafting Alchemy Horizons Baldur's Gate and dive right into pack one, pick one. And this is a card I've wanted to build around all format. And maybe it works here. So Lae'zel's Acrobatics, 4 mana instant, exile all non-token creatures you control, then roll a d20, and you can blink them either once or twice depending on what happens. Blue-white blink seems like a ton of fun if you can kind of make it work. Or maybe even like Abzan Blink, blue, white, green because of all the ETBs in green. But cards like this, maybe if we can wheel Icewind Stalwart, Rescuer Chwinga could wheel as well. Blur is in this pack. I mean, there's some things that could wheel for this archetype. And this seems like a lot of fun. It's not something I've ever done yet in this format, but I want to try it out. And we'll see if we can find our way into it. If you're unfamiliar with what this set is and you found Alchemy Horizons Baldur's Gate Draft here for the first time, I've got a video linked in the upper right hand corner right now. You can go ahead and check out everything about this set, from the mechanics to the cards involved and everything along those lines. Pack number 2. Rally Maneuver is more of a combat trick. Doubt we're going to need it in this kind of deck. Lizardfolk Librarians entering the battlefield again. Could be pretty good. Valiant Farewell, another combat trick. Pseudo-Dragon Familiar, not really for this deck. It's honestly an underwhelming pack. If we weren't like trying to force Acrobatics, which I want to soft force it right now just because it seems like such a fun archetype that I want to try. I haven't given you that kind of content yet on this channel and I want to see if we can make that work. I think Pilgrim's Eye works really, really well with Acrobatics and in a Blink shell in general. It could also open up the splash if we don't go exactly blue-white. All right. Now there's Sewer Plague, which I think is the best card in this pack. But I would like to try something different. I think this is the 10th draft of the format for me. And I'm not sure I've drafted anything but black. I think in the 9 drafts before this, they've all been black. I want to see if we can do something a little bit different today. Draconic Mirrorless, 4 mana, 4/3 dies, you get a dragon. Bronze Walrus, ETB Scry 2 could go well with this. Could lead to some ramp stuff up as well. Undersimplify is less good than Make Disappear was last format, but I think it's still playable as much as I don't really want to be in blue in general. You come to a river, I don't think so. I mean, the responsible pick here is to take Sewer Plague, but I'm going to take the Walrus and see if we can do something spicy. Juvenile Mist Dragon. When it ETBs for each opponent, tap up to 1 target creature that player controls, and then you lock it down. Yeah, I mean, there's Kalane here, but you've seen enough red-black, right? We'll wait till Friday to do another red-black draft. But Juvenile Mist Dragon, all of these cards go very, very well with Acrobatics here. So I think I'm just going to take the Mist Dragon and see if we can stay down blue-white blink. Scouting Hawk, not as good in blink. Unicorn, Wizened Githzerai. I don't really want to be playing many of these cards here. I'll take the Hawk, I guess. Contact Other Planes, not great. I mean, Warriors of Tiamat is good in red aggressive decks. Valor Singer's fine. Giant Fighter Beetles is fine in those kind of decks as well. But again, I want to try something different. So, Air Cult. Oh my gosh, I'm not gonna do it. I'm not gonna do it. But you keep passing me pick 6 incessant provocations. You're going to tempt me. But let's take Air Cult Elementals. A 6 mana 2/5 flyer ETBs bounces a creature. Frost Giant, Horde Robber, Provocation. Let's go ahead and take Air Cult Elemental. Now there's another one. There's also Nero Wild Mage, but this is kind of a strange card that I don't think we need to try to make work. Minimus Containment has been underwhelming in this format. I mean, I would still play a copy here. And honestly, if this were like some random green card, I'd probably take the containment. But let's take the Air Cult Elemental. We have Pilgrim's Eye to help us find our 4th land. We have Walrus to ramp us to 5. So there's some things going on here. I really don't want to be playing Scouting Hawk, to be honest. Maybe we can find a little bit more fixing. We can take a couple of green cards that have good ETBs as well. Really interested to see what wheels out of pack 1, because there were a lot of blue-white blink cards, and if they're all gone, that's not great news for us. None of these cards are great. Ritual's fine, but we're going to take Monk of the Open Hand. This one actually is pretty good in this format. Depends on what your curve looks like, but it actually is pretty good in this format. Much more in red-white, I would think, because of all the double team. But I think it's probably fine in our deck. And we have to hope that here on this next pick we get at least 1 or 2 of those blink cards. Blur came back. So that's good. Trying to think of what the other ones were that could go in this archetype, but we're going to take Blur here. Both of the white cards came back. This is another ETB that we could splash for, but I don't really think this card's worth splashing. This one does have draw a card on it, and we're likely to not be super aggressive. Take removal and Spike Pit Trap. So, yeah, we got some things going on here. I think we have a decent little start. I would love to see an OG here soon, and then maybe we could play that in a pinch. But time to test out if blue-white's any good. I am not exactly sure. My guess is because it has blue, it's probably not great. But we're going to try it here. Let's see. Guild Thief, 2 mana, 1/1. Deals combat damage to a player, put a 1/1 counter on it. 4 mana, unblockable. Dream Fracture, 2 for 1s yourself. Is this worth splashing? 3 mana, 2/2. Only if you control 6 or more lands can you activate it. When ETBs cast it, seek a land card with a basic land type. That's probably worth trying to splash here. I mean, there is another Blur. There's an Undersimplify, and You Hear Something on Watch, all of which are fine. These two are not really for this deck, but let's go ahead and take this card and see if we might be able to try to splash it here. Goggles, no. These are no. Sword Coast Serpent. Our curve is really not great right now. We might have to eat our vegetables and take this Steadfast Paladin. And I doubt we wheel 1 of these or 2 of these. I mean, you'll wonder why I'm in red-black so much. I mean, here's another Sewer Plague and another Dragon's Fire. Red-black is just, it's so powerful in this format. And I want to be taking these, but we have a card like Acrobatics here. Seems like a fun way to go in the format. What is this? 4 mana, enters the battlefield, put a rope counter on target creature you control. Beginning of each player's upkeep, that player may pay 2. If they do, put a rope counter on a creature they control. Otherwise, exile it and each creature without a rope counter on it, then remove all rope counters from creatures. Goodness, that's a wild card. Maybe it's good. What do these do? Deals combat damage. A little slow. Flaming Fist Officer is decent in kind of the whole blink thing. Owlbear's a good card. Myconid's a good card. I wonder if we can go green, blue, splash white. Because this doesn't matter, and this doesn't really matter. And the Myconid can help us splash there. That could be interesting. I mean, there's really no white here. Whenever you equip creature deals combat damage to a player, draw that many cards. Corlessa is much more of a dragon green-blue build round. Probably not what we're going to be doing. Val Eager Scholar is pretty slow. It's a 3 mana 2/1, specialize 5. You come to a river. I guess I'll take Val here. We're not aggressive enough for Unicorn. Another Elemental. 2 mana 2/2 Flash is essentially what this is. A Gate could be good. Let's take the Elemental here. Another Elemental, Flaming Fist Officer, 2 mana 2/2, and a 3 mana. ETBs get a boon. Your next creature perpetually gains flying. You can specialize it to gain some life, draw cards and things. I think I'm going to take Lulu here. kind of gets our curve a little lower-ish. I don't really want to play 4 6-drops necessarily. So here's pick 7. Looks a lot like pick 1 did. As far as Paladin and more Librarians. We are going to have to make sure we get some decent 2-drops here at some point. Considering our curve is not great. But for the ETB and the double team here, I'm going to take Librarians over Paladin. Now we have a 2-mana 1/3 that you can pay a bunch of mana to draw some cards. A 2-mana 3/1 that can trade off and also give a little boost to your next creature. Hypnotic Pattern, no, and Flaming Fist Officer could be fine, but let's go ahead and take the Dust Guard here. All these blue cards are coming back, so that's good. I might take Undersimplify to count as a little bit of a 2-drop for us over a second Blur here, because I think we're going to get another one right here. So we're going to take this one. Water Weird, I doubt that's going to make this deck. Same thing with that. These don't matter. Let's hope we can fill out this deck with a couple of good cards here in pack number 3. Whenever a creature enters the battlefield, if it was cast, exile it, then return all of the permanent cards exiled with it to the battlefield under their owner's control. So, interesting with this one, this might actually be good in this deck because we're building around enter the battlefield abilities, and with our creatures entering the battlefield, it ETBs, then goes under the thing, and then the next creature that is cast, that creature comes back out and enters the battlefield again. Let's do some spice here. This could not go well, but let's get spicy. We're going to take this and see if we can make that work. Not exactly sure if we're green-blue or white-blue. We didn't really see a lot of good green there. But this could lead to some interesting games if we're not dead by the time we cast it. So that's the ultimate goal. Sworn to the Legion, 6-mana enchantment. When it ETBs non-token creatures you control, perpetually gain double team. Whenever you cast a creature spell, it perpetually gains double team. I don't really think that's for us. Hate to see a Skullport Merchant passing us by. There's another Flaming Fist Dust Guard. Null Hunter for the 2-drop in green. Patriarch's Humiliation, but we're not super high on. I guess our creature count isn't bad, but 2 of them are green. I think I'm just going to take another 2-drop here and probably just stick to blue-white now. I mean, we are lacking a little bit of interaction. This could just be a decent little removal spell for us. So I'm actually going to take Humiliation over the Dust Guard. The Dust Guard might even wheel. Humiliation will not wheel. So I'm probably thinking blue-white, and then maybe we find a way to splash Lucamina. But that's where I'm at for now. There's another Pilgrim's Eye. Ranger Squadron's a little bit high on the curve for what I'm looking for here. Hypnotic Pattern, I don't really think that's particularly playable. So let's go ahead and take another Pilgrim's Eye. Our 3-drop slot is... well, that's not as bad as I thought. What do you do? 2-mana 2/2 and ETBs creatures in your hand perpetually get +1/+1, and you can specialize it for only 2 mana. That's quite good. Charm Sleep, not good. Flaming Fist Officer, I'd probably play that, but we can go ahead and take this as a nice little early play in our deck. Vladimir and Godfrey, 3-mana 3/2, and then if you have a 1/1, you can put it on the battlefield tapped. We have 2 Pilgrim's Eyes and a Monk. And it's also just a 3-mana 3/2. I don't think we need a 3rd Blur. Our ETBs aren't, like, great. They're existent, but we already have 2. Alright, another Humiliation, Air Cult Elemental, and Lizard Folk Librarians. I think I'm going to take the Humiliation. Again, more removal. Need to make sure we don't die. Steadfast Paladin, Tollkeeper, 2-mana 3/1. ETBs, they have to show us all of their creature and land cards. And choose one of them and ETBs tapped. As opposed to Paladin. Paladin could be pretty good for some lifelink here. But this just trades with some of the X3s in the format. I think that's going to be important for us. Here's another one. Probably just what I'm going to take here. We have enough on the top end. I don't think we need a Frost Giant. We have 3 elementals here. So let's take that. I don't think I'm playing either of these expensive cards here. I'm not going to play a second plane. Maybe we play 2 Pit Traps, but now that we have 2 Humiliations, probably not. Flaming Fist Officer, not bad. With all the blink we have going on. So I guess the ways we have to blink are Acrobatics and double Blur here. Everything else does not. And then Life Trapping is kind of a way of blinking. Alright, let's see if we can build this a certain way. I don't think I want that. We have double Pilgrim's Eye and Bronze Walrus to splash Lucamina here. I think that's good enough with 1 forest. I think I would like to keep all of our 2s. I like the creatures here. Definitely don't need that. Don't think we need Pit Trap. I do think we need Undersimplify. Humiliation's good, but if we cut 3 more creatures, we're down to 16, which is not bad. Vladimir and Godfrey. We do have ways to bring that back. This just seems extraordinarily slow. I think I'm going to cut that there. I would like to find a way to get Lucamina in this deck. I would like to try out Life Tapping and Acrobatics here. Yeah, I need the rest of these. So these last 2 cuts have to be creatures. If I'm looking at what the worst ones are, I'm thinking probably Flaming Fist Officer. I think we're going to need these elementals to win. So I think we might have to keep 3 of them. Which means maybe the Monk? But I don't know, it trades with a couple of things. No, it's not great. I mean, it's really not great. We're not maximizing the Monk. The Monk is really good in this format if you have a lot of double team. Like I said, you play your Monk on 1, then you play your 2 mana 1/3 Genasi Rabble Rousers, attack. Next turn you have a 2-drop and a 1-drop or something, and then you're off to the races. So I think this looks like a plan to me. We have a lot of card draw, a lot of ways to blink. Let's see if we can make it work here. It's definitely something different for the channel, so if it crashes and burns, then you know not to do it. I post every single draft that I do here on this channel just because I think there's still value in learning from the drafts that don't go well as the drafts that do go well. So if this one is one or the other, then you'll know what to do with these decks going forward. All right, well, we're going to start off with the mulligan here. We can't cast any... Oh my gosh, it's the same hand. I guess we have no guarantee of ever casting that, so we're just going to keep the same hand that we mulliganed and have to put a card back. So this is going horribly. Yeah, this is rough. Okay. I mean, I guess we're doing this. Well, forgot about that. They get to destroy it, so that's nice. Okay, down goes our 4-drop. Alright, let's cross our fingers they don't have undersimplify. Good. Alright, keep that one tapped down. Don't know what you do, but I'm sure it's good. Tap to draw a card, then exile the card from your hand. Put a number of time counters equal to its mana value. When the last time counter is removed, cast without its mana cost. Creature gains haste. So basically like suspends things. Alright. Well, we'll go ahead and bounce it, I guess. Get some tempo here. Play these flyers. Get in for 4. We can blink one of these creatures next turn to get some more tempo. With Blur. Okay, they do get to gain 3 life with that. I don't like that. Let's go ahead. No reach here, right? Okay, we'll get in. I'll go ahead and blink this one. And they gain life if we play the Herd Gorger again. So I'm just going to bounce her. And then play a 3-1, I suppose. We can make some of these ETB tapped with this. But this gives us a boon on that one. But the boon doesn't really matter. So let's just see if we can get some tempo by making something ETB tapped here. Doesn't really matter what we do there. And they're probably most incentivized to play that. Okay, so I think I'm just gonna block because this one's not gonna have good attacks no matter what they play out of their hand, really. So I'm just gonna block this one. Okay. Go to 6. Unfortunately, they're at 13. And we have 6 power. So we have them on a 3-turn clock instead of a 2-turn clock. Just drew another island. So we can't even cast both of these. So if we play this and we block here, we take 4 and go to 2. I mean, that's our best chance at having a shot at winning. Probably. We do have to get a little aggressive here to at least try to win. Now, if they remove the Dust Guard, then obviously we lose, but there's a lot of ways we lose this game at this point. I guess Acrobatics would be a great draw. That way we could blink these two, lock one down, bounce the other. Well, that'll do it. Alright, they didn't find lethal there. They definitely had it, but they missed it. So I guess Acrobatics is one of our only outs here. And even then, it's probably not out. That certainly won't do it. All right. See if we have any better luck in game number 2. Before we hop into the next game here, I wanted to remind you that a subscription to the channel is always greatly appreciated. I mean, hey, if you made it this far in the video, clearly you're enjoying something, so giving back in even such a small way as a subscription or even a like on the video will go a long way for the growth of the channel and my ability to produce more high quality content for you all. It's absolutely free and will never cost you a dime, and then you'll have access to the most consistent high quality MTG Limited content on YouTube. Thanks so much for your consideration, and now back to the draft. Well, this is very slow, but we do have ramp. And then hopefully humiliation can start to do something at some point here. I'm not going to play the plains so that we don't get priority. Another Jaheira into both our mirror and our walrus, so that's been nice. I think I'm going to go Pilgrim's Eye over Walrus here because they just have to specialize this to kill our Walrus. And if they want to do that to get rid of Pilgrim's Eye, I'm probably okay with that. Okay. No blocks there. Guess we play Walrus here. And we'll keep that one. We'll see if they go for the specialize on the Walrus or not. Would not be shocked if they do. I mean, it makes a ton of sense. But I don't know how we managed to go up against Jaheira 2 games in a row and get wrecked by it both times. So that's that's been wonderful. Go here. All right. And then they'll specialize Jaheira, get rid of our walrus. Nope. All right. Well then. Guess we have to do this. Unfortunately, we can't really play this because they're just going to kill it. So, I mean, just have to basically keep passing here. I want them to specialize on top of the walrus, or not on top of, but to kill the walrus at this point. But I don't know if they will. Okay. Alright, well that's not great news if they're just gonna smash. I mean, I'm sure they have something quite good. I guess we can try this. And they're gonna use the combat trick in their hand to do something. Oh man. Alright, down goes Air Cult Elemental. Another archery. Alright, well at least it's a land. But they're just going to use it to specialize at this point. So we're probably dead. Okay, there goes the walrus. And now we have to jump here, basically. So we go to 1 and then die to Pilgrim's Eye. This has trample, so this is basically how we have to block, and then we'll just lose next turn. Alright, I don't know what you do, but let's try it. Flying and lifelink. Flying and lifelink could let us survive here. The only problem is, if it becomes a 4/4, so we're just gonna have to chump. We have to chump this thing, no matter which one it becomes. Okay. So this is already specialized at this point. So now we can do this here. Play the Pilgrim's Eye. Take action, go get a plains. Fortunately, we can't specialize this. Don't have enough mana here. And this has trample, so we have to take 4 now. And because it wasn't specialized, it's just going to go to the graveyard now. What? That's weird. Alright, well I guess we're specializing, aren't we? What does this do? So this one can get Vigilance, seek 3 non-land permanents, choose 1, shuffle the rest. Or we can have it get lifelink, the next creature. Lifelink is pretty important here. I think I want to lock this thing down. So I'm going to go 1, 2, 3, specialize here. Do the blue one. So this won't untap for as long as we control that. Then I'll do this. Take action, get a blue. And I guess we attack now. Forgot about this whole loop-de-loop thing that's going to be going on here. Fine by me. So they do get the sapling out of that still. So again, we can give this lifelink by discarding the white one, or we can give it vigilance by discarding vigilance 3/4. I think I'd like to give it lifelink because we do have an ability to attack this turn. Plus it'll give our air cult elemental lifelink. Wait, that's not good. Because it's just going to go away and go right underneath here. I'm actually going to do this one. Choose a card to keep. I think I'm going to keep the librarians. Now we can bounce this sapling, or we can scry 2. I think I'd rather scry 2. And the next turn if they don't have a creature. Ooh, man. I don't know, these things seem good. That doesn't matter anymore. This could scry 2. This could bounce something. This... This resets that. We don't actually want to be doing that. As much as I want this card right now, it's probably not great. Blur, I think, seems fine, though. So they get a Myconid and another Saproling. And we have no reason to attack here. That's not great. Alright, they get another Saproling. We scry 2 again. Don't need that. Probably fine with that. This has vigilance here. Alright, this is a close game. Oh, they have a lot of mana to pump that with. So this gives them their unicorn back. But it locks down the Saproling? Probably should have attacked before I did that, because now they can pump twice to make this a 3/4. That was definitely a mistake. I guess we can do this. Oh, it's only on their turn. That's all right. That's all right. Can't get too over greedy here, because if they draw removal and then pump, means we could have a problem. Okay. We have all kinds of ways to make sure that we can survive this here. I'm going to go ahead and play librarians. I mean, they're creatures and they do things, so I mean, I guess. And again, this is an instant, so for some reason, we can probably just do this now. Well, let's see. We'll see how they want to do it. They can use unicorns still, but we have ways to blink our creature here. Okay. Let's go ahead and blink this one. Go ahead and bounce. I'm just going to bounce this so they don't gain life. And that should do it. There we go. That's how this deck is supposed to work. That was hard to pilot, but it was still a lot of fun. So, we at least did our thing once, right? Okay, this is a slow one. And we're on the draw. But let's just hope they don't go turn 1 Shambling Ghast or something like that. That was a joke, folks. I saw that come down, so. We've been got. Alright, come on, play a 3-drop, please. Play anything. I will definitely undersimplify it here. Alright. Now we'll go Pilgrim's Eye. Go ahead and grab a green, just in case we draw our other card. Forget the name of it. Do I really want them to be ramping to 5 this turn? I'm going to say no. That one is a bit of a problem. Have to use our tempo plays here to get us back into this one. See if they specialize it. Okay. Now it gives plus X plus O, where it's a number of instant and sorcery cards. Wait, what? Creature, instant, and sorcery. Okay. So if we trade here, they could just kill the other one. But at this point, with Saravok out, I'd like them to not have any creatures. So if they get a treasure, then they get a treasure, I guess. Alright, so they are going to kill this one. And there's a looter. We'll lock that down for a turn. Now their looter could become a 3-4 or 3-2. Probably not gonna block it because we do have... Well, that sucks. Okay. Alright, let's bounce all their creatures into oblivion now. Oh, please don't have undersimplify. They have an instant. I don't know what it is, though. They don't have good attacks right now, so that's good. So we're going to just do it again. Because why not? Probably going to kill their looter. Depends on if they play this again. Alright. Now we just have so much tempo here that they're never going to really get another attack in. Next turn we can bounce it again. This is like a game. This is a fun little cruel game. Alright, let's go ahead and attack first. 1, 2, 3. No. 1, 2, 3. Then we can play Walrus, and now if they choose to play it again, we can just kill it. I mean, yeah, why not? They seem fine. They're creatures, they do things. They're at 8. Play it again, I dare you. So there's a chance they could bounce one of our creatures here in response to doing this, which would not kill it, which is why I'm just going to pass to my turn. Go ahead and play this thing. Then even if they bounce a creature, we can still kill this here. Okay, that should be fine because we still have 8 power. That was just a cruel, cruel game we played with our opponent. I'm sorry, Lunak Hop. My bad. Okay, we're on the play here. We have Pilgrim's Eye into Librarians at the minimum, so I'm going to keep it for that reason. And if we draw planes before, we can go Lulu into Librarians, which would be a pretty good combo. Please don't have Kobold Warcaller. There's the Kobold Warcaller. This could be a problem. This game could definitely be a problem for us. Now here comes a double teamer, I'm sure. Double teamer with haste. It's pretty bad for us. I think I'm going to go ahead and just play Lulu. Next turn we have Librarians. It'll get flying, it'll scry 2, all that kind of stuff. We can get some lifelink. I'm not willing to go against some sort of combat trick here. This tells me that this could be Armor of Shadows? Because they attacked with this, but not this. Or they're just willing to use the haste on this one for next turn. Literal nothing. Okay. I guess we'll do this. Scry 2, don't need that anymore. This is not bad because next turn we can go Pilgrim's Eye and Dusk Guard. Or Dusk Guard, then Pilgrim's Eye, then Air Cult Elemental. So I'm going to keep it for that reason. I don't think we're blocking with this, so... Just gotta really be careful about all this haste that they're doing. Got a double teamer here. Hopefully it survives long enough to attack. Still nothing. Okay, well... guess we'll do this. I think I'm going to do blue so that we can specialize this using an island at some point. Because the island one lets us draw cards. They're not being particularly aggressive, so that's good-ish news for us. So far. We know they have like at least 2 or 3 creatures in hand. Because they've done this a bunch. Hook Horror, that's a good bounce target for Air Cult Elemental because it's 5 mana, so fine with that. As fun as this could be, I think it's right to do this. I don't want them to have anything to be able to specialize into, so I'm just going to do this here. Attack for 5, they go to 11. In the next turn, we might be able to specialize, draw 4, discard 1. Draw that many, then discard a card. Draw 4, discard 1, that would be busted. If they play Hook Horror again, then I'm going to go for it. But if they leave 2 mana up, I don't think I can because of Dragon's Fire, and I don't want to specialize into a Dragon's Fire. And if they just use their whole turn to Spike Pit Trap on Lulu, then that's also fine by me. Okay, so it looks like that's what they have. So I can't really specialize with Lulu. So let's just go to combat. Let's do this. Alright, so they'll just kill the elemental. Still take 5. This does not have flying, and for that reason, I'm gonna play this slow. This will get us Scry 2. It'll put their creature under here, whatever they end up playing, so they can't really get too aggressive on us. Although, them getting an Air Cult Elemental is pretty decent. And I guess we could do this now. No reason not to at this point. They can only have up to 7 mana this turn, so Specialize costing 2 and then Air Cult Elemental costing 6 will be impossible. So at least they can't cast this turn. We do have 6 points of flying damage, so that's noteworthy. Looks like they're going to have to use a removal spell or play a flyer to survive. Formats with cards like this are sweet, because usually this just looks like this could be awful, but in a format to support something like this, I mean, makes it pretty fun, in my opinion. It's very difficult to understand what's going on with this, but once you do, you got a lot going on here. So down goes their Manticore. Now, if they have another 2-drop, they can get their Manticore back. Okay, good for you, good for you. Well, they're going to block the Pilgrim's Eye, which is probably okay. They still go to 2. We draw 3, discard 1. One or more other. I missed that word. I don't think I need Walrus at this point. We could also blur the Pilgrim's Eye in response to this, and then have... They'll be at 2, and we'll still have 3 lethal attackers next turn. I think that seems okay. So they keep their Manticore, but we have 3 lethal attackers. So we can play this, can't specialize it because they're going to get that back. So what we can do is play Lizard Folk Librarians. They're going to get a Horde Robber. We're going to scry 2. Let's see what we find. Well, we don't have a 1/1, so this is just a 3-mana 3/2. But I mean, like, all these things are just fine, right? Let's do this one first. That way we could play this next turn and immediately play that, get it. And specialize. I think we might need the mana with all the gas we have coming here. That is if they survive 3 flying attackers. Again, still 6 mana, so they can't play Elemental, even if they specialized. They could if we let Horde Robber hit us, but we're not going to do that. I'm just going to block that with Dusk Guard, if they let us. The old mirror of life trapping. Kind of probably getting them a little bit here. Or they're just roping us. Could be that. Get yourself a walrus. It was not cast, so they do get around this trigger. But it won't do it. Let's go. Well, our curve has not been great in opening hands, but it's worked out so far. So what's to say this won't? That's a 3-drop that ramps us to Juvenile Mist Dragon, so I'll take it. Not putting pressure on us. I like it. I like it. Still not putting pressure on us. Let's go. All right. Got ourselves a game here. Play Walrus. I'm probably going to top an island, but no other lands. Jeez, that's a lot. I don't think we want that. Lulu seems fine. Yeah, Lulu seems okay for a turn. We can do that. Then we hope Walrus survives, and if it doesn't, we could just play Librarians. If it does, we'll play Mist Dragon and keep that tapped down. So let's go ahead and do this. The way this is worded makes you have to do that extra click, but it's worded for commanders, so that's why they did that. They should have just changed the wording. This is Alchemy, right? Can't you just change the names of words on cards whenever you feel like it? Isn't that a thing you can do? Top deck land would be great to go elemental. If not, we're going to be a little mana inefficient. Huh. I think we need to find our lands before we can get too trigger happy with this. So let's do this. I'm going to play the Librarians so that we can try to find lands on the top. I mean, Pilgrim's Eye is kind of a land. Undersimplify is not great here, so if we do Pilgrim's Eye next turn, get a land, we can still do another 3-drop. I guess that's probably fine. Because there's no guarantee the card underneath Pilgrim's Eye is a land. No, they have 6 mana. I'm expecting an Air Cult Elemental here. They're getting priority. It could just be this, but I'd prefer if my Librarians didn't die. I don't know. We got so much action coming, though, that like if they want to use a combat trick here, then they use a combat trick. We need to keep the Walrus back. Oh, man, that would have been great in my deck. Let's do this, this, and... this here, because we're going to get a blue with Pilgrim's Eye. Exile permanent you control, then return it. Okay, well that's pretty good with Prof Prism here. So I think they have Undersimplify. They got the, what's it called? They got priority. when I cast that, but they're not getting priority right now, which tells me this 2 mana is very likely undersimplify, and I don't want to play one of these creatures into it. So let's do this. See, they're not getting priority right now, but they did get it when I cast that spell. So I'm not going to cast one of these. I'm going to hold up Blur and see if they'll let me resolve that. Interesting to choose that and not Prof Prism. Do they really need a land? Exile non-land permanent you control, so they can do Prof Prism. They're just not. Play a random 4-drop. Let me resolve my cards. Okay, what does this do? You have to pay to sacrifice it? Okay. They're just, I guess, thinning out their deck with Pilgrim's Eye, and then at some point, if we don't remove the kitten, then they can just draw cards off the Prism. Their deck's pretty sweet. They got some spice going on, too. Let's go ahead and blink this one. Keep their Pilgrim's Eye tapped down, I think. That way we can get in with flying damage here. So while they're tapped out, I'm going to try to get some more flying creatures down, because I think that's our path to victory this game. So we'll get in there. They're now at 9, and the next turn we could specialize. Let's see, 7, 8, 9. So they're just dead if they don't have something. They could attack with Shepherd to not die, I suppose. Oh, they could just blink Pilgrim's Eye as well with Displacer Kitten. I'm sure they have a non-creature. Am I willing to trade Walrus for Shepherd here? No. I want that land to get around to Undersimplify if they have it. So let's just bounce this. Again, I know they have Undersimplify in their hand, so I can't cast one of these. I could specialize, but I'd rather do this to start here. And now we can specialize this, but the problem is if they have removal, that's really not good for us. But drawing 4 or drawing 3, discarding 1 is really good. Gonna go for the specialize here, I think. Let's see if they have removal or bounce. Okay, it worked. Do we get an attack out of it? Alright. We at least get the attack here. Even if they kill Pilgrim's Eye by playing a non-creature, blinking this, and blocking, it's probably fine with me. We get to draw 3 here, discard 1. I really just don't know. I don't think this card is really doing much for us right now, so I'm just going to go ahead and discard that. I mean, this game is not really one where that one shines a ton. Okay, here goes the Pilgrims. All right, now, well, they're going to start blinking that, I guess. Is it perpetual? No. So this is 8 damage now. Fortunately, we didn't find a single land, otherwise we could specialize this. Oh god, what does that do? Create 2 things, destroy an artifact, gains 3. Alright, so Sublime Epiphany in white is what that is. They got a sweet deck. I just wonder if our flyers can get over the top here. We can specialize this into a flyer next turn. We can also specialize it into this, which could tap down Pilgrim's Eye. Let us get in with everything. Okay. They got an engine, don't they? Not holding up under Simplify anymore. So I want to discard a blue card to this to give it flying. Or to tap this down. I'm going to start with this actually. See what their hand is. Then I can specialize. Well, it's just creatures and land, so if it's a non-creature, they're gonna be able to do something here. So they have 1 card in their hand that's not one of these, right? Okay, so then what I'm gonna do is do this. Oh, the 1 card, we've pinned them on under Simplify, right? So what that tells me is if I do this and lock down this, then we can attack with all these and win. I'm going to get rid of this one here. All right, what do you got? Got nothing. All right, that was a tight game. Man, that was a back and forth, grindy, value-oriented game there. All right, this seems fine to me. We got a couple 2-drops, so we can trade if we need to. Red-green Battlecry Goblin. +1/+0. Let's do this, see what they're working with. Alright, well, if that ever comes down, then I guess it'll be tapped. If they only had one other land in their hand, I would have tapped down that one. I probably should have just tapped down their island, or made that one come in tapped. Could get punished here. Yeah, a little bit. I think we just have to be mana efficient and go with this one. No attacks. Next turn we can play these two. Following turn, Mist Dragon. Then we can have all kinds of acrobatics up. I mean, having that island come in tapped wouldn't have mattered last turn. They could just play the mountain and play the roper. But it could have set them off this turn as far as playing a 4-drop. Let's see what they got. Alright. Down goes Vladimir and Godfrey, and they still have priority. It could just be Battlecry Goblin activation. Alright, they get the trigger here. We'll try to trade. Alright, worked out nicely for them, didn't it? Yeah, let's do Librarians. Seems good. You know what, Lucamina? As good as you are, you're not really great here. We have to find a way to cast you first. So keep that. Next turn we'll Dragon. Following turn, we'll see what's up. So we can attack with this. Am I fine trading it? I'm probably fine just trading this off for like Battlecry Goblin because we get another one in hand. But then the acrobatics aren't going to work as well. Get that in hand. Go to blockers. Let's see if they want to trade. Didn't think so. They're the aggressors, so did not expect them to trade there. And we'll play this. Tap down probably Null Hunter so that it can't get a counter. Land off the top would not be bad. We could play Librarian, or we could play like this into Librarians. And then we would have all kinds of triggers for acrobatics the following turn. They hit the jackpot. That is not quite a land off the top. So let's do this. This allows us to play Vladimir and Godfrey. But what I'm going to do next turn is I'm going to play Dusk Guard, hold up acrobatics, and then do all kinds of scry 4, tap a thing down, get boons, all kinds of stuff. Because we have to trade for this goblin at some point if they're going to let us. We could also just play Air Cult Elemental next turn, bounce this thing probably. And then keep the Pilgrim's Eye. It makes that so much better. I'm actually gonna keep both. Let's go in here. It's a 4/6 flyer, right? Yeah. If they play it, I'm just going to cast Air Cult Elemental. If they don't, and they choose to pump their goblins and stuff instead, then we're going to have to see what to do about that. They're certainly in the tank here. Okay, so they're going to pump their goblins instead. To make sure we don't die here. I'm definitely blocking this one. If I block this, we take 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. If they choose to pump, go to 4. Okay, so they're going to put us to 4 here. I'm just going to bounce their Null Hunter. I think I will get in. Now, if they have life gain, that's not great, but we know they have a Null Hunter and Nalfeshni in hand, so, like, I'm going to get a little greedy with the attack here. Really hope they don't have a way to gain life. That's fine. And then Null Hunter. Okay. So if we do 1, 2, 3, do Pilgrim's Eye, and then we can still hold up Acrobatics here. And it's an instant, which means we can do this. Because they're going to come back in. When do they come back in? Oh, beginning of the next end step. Which means I'm going to do it on my turn then here. So let's do this. They don't have to block, so we'll go to damage, put them to 2. And then do this. And then we get the double blink. Alright, so you stay tapped down. Submit 1. You get bounced. Search my library. No thank you. Double scry. They come back in. We do it all again. You stay tapped down. You get bounced. Sure, I'll take another land. And let's scry again. Yeah, why not? All right. That'll probably do it. Crossing your fingers they don't have Fireball or something. All right, Inspiring Bard. Ain't gonna do it. Let's go Acrobatics. Okay, super slow, but it hasn't failed us yet. So we're keeping it, I guess. They're on the mulligan. Don't know if I'll do that on 3 or if I'll do Pilgrim's Eye on 3. I guess it could depend what they play here. Well, that's pretty good draw, isn't it? All these perpetually get +1/+1. Okay, well that can't be blocked, but the good news is we've got Humiliation here to kill that. Let's play Pilgrim's Eye, get a Plains. That way next turn we can play the Plains, cast Lucamina, and also have Humiliation up. Ooh. Okay. Got themselves an OG here. And now just do we Humiliation now? I don't want this thing to keep hitting us over and over again. I mean, there's an argument to killing really any of those. I know this becomes a 3/3. But we've got a lifelinker, we've got a specialize, we've got double Air Cult Elemental. We have some things here. Okay, well never mind on the whole specialized thing. Only if you control 6 or more lands. You know, we have our next like 4 turns planned out pretty well for us. And we're going to have to keep taking 3 over and over again. Now this could be wrong, but I'm going to go ahead and trade here. We have double Air Cult Elemental, so like, we've got things we can do. Let's see if they have a counterspell. They don't. They got nothing. So with the double Elemental, I'm cool with that. Gain 2 life, scry 2. What do you do? Ah, I see what they did. Okay. Are they going to kill something here? Yes, they will. Blink v Blink here. We go ahead and play the bigger one. Bounce their OG. Get in for 2. Whenever you cast an instant or sorcery, they get to do things. Okay. So I could turn it into a looter or create a 1/1 flyer. Okay. Well, interesting. Would we rather gain life or would we rather draw cards? I think the answer is always draw cards, right? Always draw cards, which means we're going to want to discard the island so we can go get a Plains No, we can't even do that this turn is the problem. And I don't really want to be bouncing either of these things. I think I'm going to get the planes. I'm going to play Lulu here. We get the boon. Then we can get in for 5. And then we can either next turn specialize to gain life, specialize to draw cards. We can keep this one to discard as well. So I'm actually going to keep the lands in hand for that reason. Can we forever bounce elementals and things back and forth? Well, that's annoying. Can't really even attack anymore. What do we do about this? This is a weird spot to be in. One, two, three, four, five, six. So we can't play this, specialize, and hold up blur as much as I would like to. So I'm going to do this and hold up blur here. Don't think we can be attacking much anymore. We have double boons. Looks like they have a little bit more of a streamlined deck than we do. Very, very similar in style, obviously. We are going to be able to specialize this thing at some point, which is not great. Okay. Yeah. They're doing the thing too. They're doing the thing too, aren't they? Oh, this is awkward. This is just such a weird game. We could play this island, specialize, play Air Cult Elemental, right? Yeah. So we specialized into the blue one, play Air Cult Elemental, bounce this one, we would draw 3 cards then. And that seems like a good deal, even if we're discarding Lizard Folk Librarian. So let's do this. Don't necessarily have to attack with that one. They're gaining so much life because of OG is the problem. Well, that's pretty easy. put us to 6 if they bounce our Air Cult Elemental now. Bounce Lulu. Here come the lands now. See what we're dealing with over there. Oh, it's got flying. It's got all of the flying. Forgot about that. Alright, so it's a non-creature. Non-creature or land. Acrobatics, you say? That could lead to an interesting turn next turn. Definitely want that. I don't think we want that. Yeah, now they cast another card. And then blink something again. Man, these decks are wild going against each other right now. So now they're going to cast their instant or sorcery. Okay, so they get to draw, discard. All right, what are we ready to do here? Humiliation on Elemental is where I'm going to start. Okay. Go to combat. Let's get in with our flyers, because we're going to blink them anyway. Also, it's just lethal. So I guess that's also another thing. Okay. I don't want to fire this off now. We're still drawing 4, discarding 1. Next damage. And what do you say we just kind of have a little fun here? Ooh. All right. Okay, we're bouncing everything, because why not? I know they get to draw some cards and things, but, like, whatever. We're having fun. Thank you, Acrobatics. Oh, man. It's been a good draft. Good draft. Yeah, this is great. I mean, we're keeping this because we have Paladin and then Pilgrim's Eye on 3, hopefully. Finding a green to then cast Lucamina, or we just cast Librarians. We got lots of things we can do here. They have Wolfgang Amadeus Mozart as their avatar over there. And unfortunately, things have gone wrong. It loses all abilities, so it does not make a treasure. I forgot about the loses all abilities part. They probably would have double blocked. They could have just single blocked with Shambling Ghast. And then traded. So, gotta find a land here. I think the only way we lose these games is if we don't draw our lands. Alright, there's one. Think we need to make sure we hit our next land drop here. So we're going to play Pilgrim's Eye. We're going to go get Forest. And yeah, I'm fine trading here. I know they got their value, but we're going to get a couple extra life. Make sure we stabilize. I don't like that. Gotta be mana efficient here. Play the librarians. Dragon seems great. Don't think we need the planes necessarily, so we'll bottom that. Keep the Pilgrim's Eye back to block, double block the Disciples here. Unless they have all their mana up. In which case I can't do that. Okay, down goes Librarian. Forgot about the whole thing that it taps our stuff down, so this is going great. Gonna do this here. Next turn we could play Lucamina and then seek a land even if we don't draw one, and then cast one of these two spells. And I think we're going to be in a race situation with these Disciples here, although Vampire Spawn doesn't help us in that respect. Okay, we did not find the land, so we're going to go ahead and do this. Seek the land. Probably play our flyer here. And try to race with Mist Dragon. We might have to chump with Pilgrim's Eye. They are at 6 mana. They have a Unicorn. This could gain lifelink if we want to discard Vladimir to it, because then we could return that to the battlefield because we have a Pilgrim's Eye. So we have a couple of options here. Never mind. Getting hardcore aggroed out. Holy moly. Well, that's horrible here. I guess we'll just keep everything back, because that's pretty much all we can do now. Huh, what are we blinking? Pilgrim's Eye, Mist Dragon, Lizelle, Walrus. Yeah, these seem good. But we're going to be blocking. Oh my gosh. What are we doing next turn? Chumping? Probably chumping in some respect. Because they're going to tap down this, and then pump. And they're going to have 3/3. I mean, we're going to be chumping. So all we're really going to get to do is blink that. I like acrobatics, but I don't think this is the game for it. We are quite behind here. Quite behind. We finally got punished for having a slow start. And they now have 8 mana. They can pump it twice, which means we're probably dead. Goodness gracious, they are just absolutely wrecking us here. 3 removal spells, double Disciples, Unicorn. Okay, this one has gotten past the point of return. So we can get it in the last one here. 6 and 2, 6 and 2. Okay, well we're gonna keep it, but it's not great, to be honest. Gonna have to go Tollkeeper into Godfrey and hope that's good enough, basically. they attack here, am I willing to trade? I think yes. Never mind. Got double blur in hand and no combo to use it with, so that's pretty awkward. Well, guess that's something. Okay, never mind. Oh man. So we can use blur to return this and then block Krydle. But the only thing is they could, whenever you attack, you may pay 2. So they're going to miss that trigger. So we're going to attack. And then we're just going to pass here. We're going to use blur and try to surprise them to block. Okay. Okay. Resolves. We'll go ahead and blink this here. I think I'm going to Air Cult Elemental. That way next turn we can Mirror plus Pilgrim's Eye. So let's do this. No attacks. I'm fine trading that off with just Tollkeeper because, again, we have Pilgrim's Eye coming here at some point. That's some card advantage, that's for sure. Oh, no. Get themselves a Lucamina. Oh, but it perpetually gets -1, minus. Well, they conjure a copy? Duplicate. I don't know if the duplicate copies the whole perpetual part from previously. But we'll see, I guess. I don't think we're in a position to attack with Air Cult Elemental yet, so I will not do so. Okay. They have a combat trick here? I'm gonna hope no. Because Blur on Air Cult Elemental is quite good. Let's cross our fingers. They could have Sewer Plague, I guess, to get rid of it now. Okay. I'm gonna do this now. And the reason is, in case we draw another thing we can play. And I guess there was a mistake there. I definitely should have attacked first. Definitely should have attacked first. Forgot about that. It's not at all something we can play. Forgot this perpetually enters tapped as well, but... Okay, so they draw a card. 4 mana draw a card. Joke's on you. Now the joke's on me. I think we started this game with 2 lands, and then since then we've drawn like all of them. We've got 12 lands. We have 5 left in our last 19 cards here. Oh, no, we have 4 left in our last 19 cards. Now we have 3 left in our last 18 cards. Now we have 2 left in our last 17 cards. What more do you want from me? We've drawn 15 lands and 23 cards. Good news is, from here on out, it's going to be nothing but gas. We have 2 lands left in our deck. 2. Let's keep this tap down just in the event that they are able to like equip this and make it unblockable or something, like a Thieves' Tools or whatever. Just gonna let that happen and hope we draw lands. Or hope we draw creatures. Take 3, let them do their thing. We still have acrobatics in the deck. I mean, there's some things we can draw, but if we draw a creature, we can get another one on the battlefield here. Okay, that is a creature. That'll probably do it. They get double the ETB trigger on that, so that's probably going to kill us there, if I had to guess. So this gives them a black dragon. Okay, go ahead. Dang. There was like 5 turns in a row there where if we had drawn anything but lands, we probably would be okay in this game, but we just didn't. All right, here come the Flyers. I think now we have to start jumping here. Perpetually +1/+0. Okay. They get a black dragon, so down goes Dusk Guard more than likely, but it's not super relevant on this board with the Pseudo Dragon Familiar here. Okay. Oh, no. No. Oh, man. So if they give everything flying, we block here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. Yep. Man, that was about all we needed, and they drew their counterspell. 6 and 3. You know what? The deck was sweet. The deck was really sweet. I think it probably should have trophied there, but we just really got screwed in that last game. Really got screwed, but it was a lot of fun to play that deck. So check out our end screen for all the trophies in the format or our last upload in case you missed it. Thanks so much for tuning in. I will see you next time for your daily draft.